Hey guys, Roger Wakefield here. Welcome to the Trade Talks Live. We are having technical difficulties. It happens sometimes. Hope y'all are doing good today. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you've never been here before, welcome to the show. We talk about 10 or 11 different subjects, and it's all trades related. So if you've got questions, jump in. TikTok, Instagram, if y'all like to jump over here, love to hear what y'all have to say. Please put a Q in front of it if you have a question. That way we make sure that we get to it. And as you see, I've got a special guest with me today and every day. Squirt, what's up?
How's it going, everybody? Happy Friday. Glad to be here as usual. I'm Henry Wakefield, 20-year pipe fitter. Here to talk about my trade, your trade, everybody's trade. Let's get more folks in them.
So, like I said, if you've never been here before, think about it. Hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. That way you get notified every day. We go live at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. And this show is sponsored by Leak Pro. It sponsors our show so we can do what we do. If you want to learn more about it, go to www.leak-pro.com. You got the message, you run it.
National news, U.S. construction spending surges in December. The U.S. Commerce Department has reported a 0.5% increase in construction spending just for December, and this is surpassing the expected 0.2% rise. That's more than double, guys, of what was expected to happen. And that's huge. Perfect. But a lot of the key drivers in this is residential construction boomed, especially in single-family homes, while commercial construction still saw moderate growth. Okay, and single-family homes increasing means that the commercial end's going to follow it too, because whenever they're putting in more homes, it's because there's more work going on, there's more jobs that have been created in that space, and that's why the housing is booming in those areas too. But a lot of the key details, there's been a lot of spending in private residential construction, increased by 0.7%, reflecting strong demand. There's also been some public construction projects that saw a 0.4% increase, driven by federal and local government initiatives. And that's something that we've been talking about a lot. There's a lot of initiatives going out for a lot of projects around the country. But overall construction spending grew 4.3% year over year. And in December, and 6.5% total for the year. So
in other words, there's more freaking work going on, y'all.
Yep.
And a lot of it. And if you look at the way the percentages are coming up, we've got a comment in here that says, where do you see HVAC going in the future? It's going up. I mean, there's more people getting out of the trades each year. There's less people getting in. But guys, there's more people in the United States each and every day. And those people in California that are moving to Oklahoma, hopefully, not Texas, we need places for them too. So construction keeps booming and it keeps growing. And this is why we talk about all the time, we need more people in the trades. Work is increasing. And I'm telling you, it's going to keep going. And Malik, I love that you asked that, or Mikhail, I love that you asked that question. Where do you see HVAC going in the future? HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, those three are going to keep growing. Yes. We know it. Those are the skilled trades. Those are the professional trades. You have to have a professional license in most states to do it. So look at what all we're doing and the way it's growing. It's just going to keep going.
Yeah, this is going to increase more jobs in your residential framing, concrete work, and finishing trades. But right along with that, just like he said, the skilled trades, the mechanical, the HVAC, the electrical, the plumbing, all MEP is going to be on the rise, just following every other trade too, because we're building more things, and that's just where the world's headed. Increasing with that is the demand for construction and guys in the trade.
And it's funny you mentioned concrete. We need to make sure we call a concrete company. We're trying to build an event center out here. So I talked to one of the, I tell you what, man, I'm going to go on a rant here for just a second. I talked to one of these metal building companies.
Yeah, okay.
And they're like, well, And I told him, I said, look, I'm looking at building a building. It's like, oh, that's big. Yes. Okay. Here's how we do it. Can you drive over to Fort Worth and kind of show us what you want? I said, can y'all not come out here? So, well, we have a system, the way we do things. I said, your system doesn't work. Bye.
Yep. Yep.
I'm probably looking at spending 150, 200 grand. And they're like, can you come over here to visit us? No. Wolf Metal Buildings, it ain't happening.
Yep. That's it. Like, if it's something like that, guys, you need to set up something where they can at least like walk through on a website or something, not drive an hour and a half away to be able to come and talk to you about a project that you're going to have to come here to do anyway. Guess what? You need to see my site. Like,
I
it's
want you to
huge.
see the site because there's things here. Our land's not perfectly level. I need it raised in some positions. So there's a lot of different things that we talk about, but they're like, well, you can get online and go through and you can design it.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not good at those online design things. I think y'all could set it up a whole lot better. Let me picture the building that I see and say, hey, here's what I want to add to it, and you do it. But let me sit down here. That way you can see the land. You can see what we got to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of funny. But anyway, he says, nice to hear. I'm actually in school right now. Good for you. HVAC guide for homeowners. Says HVAC is more air to water in Europe. Ducted HVAC will go that direction most likely. Yeah. Look, we know there's changes coming. We're all trying to get ahead of it. My brother, Andrew Brown, what's up? Says 100 to 200 an hour. I remember speaking about this with you for plumbers, HVAC techs. Kids have such a great opportunity to learn a trade and make a great living. And yes, they do. Website review. Now, talk about this one.
This one's a little different, you know. It's Pro Tool Reviews.
Okay.
And something that they actually do here is they go through and test tools from all manufacturers, things like this. The latest, the greatest, some editor reviews, some different perspectives from different angles. But the cool thing about this site, you can go through and check out tools by trade, by brand, by whatever you kind of want. Because I know some of you trade guys, hey, you live and die by Milwaukee or DeWalt or whatever. That's fine. This website makes it really easy to kind of browse and compare different things. And I think that's kind of huge. It's really simple.
And some people do like Ryobi.
Some people do. I did see Ryobi on there, and I was kind of laughing because it was like the best Ryobi something, and I thought of you, and I'm like, oh, he'd be laughing at that one.
You know, look, I think Milwaukee and Ridgid are probably two of the best tool manufacturers for plumbers, but it's because they've been around the longest. They do stuff great. I used DeWalt for a long time. But I think Milwaukee and Ridgid are probably the two best. Hilti, when it comes to the commercial work and you're doing anchors and stuff like that, man, Hilti makes some amazing products. So anything that they've got or anything that they use, and being able to go to the pipeline and see what they do there and bring in all the different trades, make it where we get to get in, play with the tools, touch the tools, try the different tools from each other stuff. It really is. It's just neat stuff. So long-term durability is always the big test. How long will these tools last?
That's it. And that's a huge one for every single one of us, because the main thing you've got to know, okay, the big one I always see is, okay, do I get the cheap one? Do I get the expensive one? Well, the key to knowing the answer to that is how long are they both going to last? Where's your dollar how far is that dollar going to get you? And guys, typically what I've found in my years of experience, it's worth getting that better tool that lasts longer, because then it's less likely to go down on you in a bad situation. And that's huge for me and became huge over the
because
years.
when you're out on the job, that's not when you want a tool to go out. And let me tell you this, it doesn't go out right when you finish.
Yep.
It's not like you make that last screw and then it goes, ugh. It's like, okay, wait, what just happened? No, it does it when you pull it out of the truck and you walk up and do that first screw. Then you're like, okay, wait, I've got 1,000 more screws to install today, and my tool just died. You better have a big right bicep and arm, or you better have a backup tool. And luckily with Milwaukee, we've got backup tools.
That's it, for sure. But another cool thing is, you know, there's a lot of industry news and product launches. Anything that's kind of new to the scene, they do a spotlight on it and kind of get it out, that information out in front of you. And the main thing is knowing all the new tools that are coming in your trade to help you in your day-to-day tasks.
You know, and the neat thing too, and I love what Milwaukee Pipeline does, where they bring in tradespeople and let us play with the tools. They literally they bring us in for an entire day in the Milwaukee plant, and it is freaking phenomenal. But they bring you in the day before, that they take you out to dinner, they entertain you, they let you introduce all these other people. And then we get to video, we get to take pictures, we get to share it, we get to post it. And it's just neat stuff. So seeing how they do that, if you're not watching, and what was the name of this channel again?
It was like Pro Tool.
There we go.
Pro Tool Reviews.
Yeah, Pro Tool Reviews. Pro Tool Reviews. If you're not watching that channel, watch the influencers that you follow and see what tools they use, see what tools they recommend, see what tools they're talking about. And if they're involved with Milwaukee, maybe they'll be at Pipeline. Pretty cool stuff. Now, business growth and scaling your business with subcontractors. And y'all have seen us do it. We literally just shot a tunnel video 2 days ago.
Yep.
I think y'all remember I was talking about fixing to get out of here and go get muddy, throwing me in the mud. We had a leak up under the building, about 8 feet under.
8 feet in.
And tunneled up under there, worked from above and below to make the repairs. So that's a good video we got coming out. But we use subcontractors to come out and dig. And I say this because every company that I've either owned or been at, the plumbers don't want to get in and dig tunnels like this.
Right.
So we bring in professionals that are really good at it, and building your business through subcontractors that do work the way you want it done is a great way to grow a business.
I was going to say, like, there's a lot of times that we talk about rolling a business out and acquiring other businesses. Guys, you don't necessarily have to acquire that business.
Yeah.
Find a good subcontractor that you want to refer all the time and act like they're a part of your package, because they're subcontracting the work from you. Share it back and forth and be a subcontractor for them too on some of their jobs and their installs of different things they have. Maybe not the dig crew per se on this one, but instead of just rolling out the business and buying and acquiring other services, you can add these options just as a subcontractor and still make some money from that. It's huge.
And it's neat. And I love the way that it's find companies you want to recommend, because they will recommend you. And I definitely, most of the companies that we've ever used always called us and said, hey man, we got a job we need you to come look at, because they knew the quality of our work. And I like that you talk about vetting them. Check their qualifications, see if they are uniform, see if they have insurance, see if they have everything set up the way you do. Because you got to remember, you're sending these people out to deal with your customer. And if you're not checking to make sure they're doing things right and you're not all over it, it can lead to problems.
Yeah. Vet them out, check some of their reviews, see what their customers have to say about them, the happy ones, the bad ones. Read through them all just to kind of see who it is that you're going to be referencing. But also have clear contracts. Whenever you do have a subcontractor, on your payment terms, the timelines, schedule, everything, have all of it lined out very clear in a contract so that everybody knows what their responsibilities are and when it actually has to be done. This will save a lot of confusion, and communication is the key to every job, keeping it running smooth.
And part of the vetting process with me is always, tell me the top 10 companies you work for. Okay. And then I'll call the ones that I know. And I'm like, hey, I just want to check how is so-and-so to work with. I want to know from people that I know, like, and trust. So if you look at it that way and you bring it in that way, it can be fantastic. But then you also want to make sure you're using the pro software management tools to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it. They document it the way they're supposed to do it. And I used to tell my plumbers, look, I'm not paying this off until you go out and measure the length of the holes, especially with the dig crew. I don't want them charging me an extra 5 feet. I mean, they were getting $120 a foot.
Yep.
Well, that's another $600 that maybe they didn't go 5 feet. So have your people check that and watch what they're doing. And you want to make sure you build amazing relationships with these guys.
Yes.
What's the best way to do that?
Man, one of the best ways, like I said, communicate all of your expectations. Have it
Up front.
clearly known that everybody knows exactly what to do, when to have it done by, and when their money is coming. Because the key to it, you want a good relationship, don't be late on your payment to your subcontractor, because you're responsible and you've got a contract with them. And I hate to say this, but even if your customer kind of screws you over, if you don't have it clearly stated in the contract that, hey, it's based on when the customer pays me or whatever that situation is, you've got to have all that clearly called out so that everybody is on a clear page of what's going on, when they're getting paid, when everything's going to happen. And this will build a strong relationship with those subcontractors.
And that's such a good thing to do. And the more you talk to them, the more you communicate with them. I've seen those. I've worked with a lot of dig crews, but I've seen them talk to me about other plumbing companies. Say, "Hey, Roger, do you know the guy over there? Can you call him? We keep calling and he won't answer us." Well, he owes them money, and they're in a bind. They're like, "Look, we got to make payroll," and especially when they deal with companies like me that, look, I pay you when I get paid. Well, their guys want to get paid at the end of the week that they worked, not when I get paid. So I completely understand it, but you want to make sure that you're upfront and honest and communicating with them all the time about it. Service work. Now, airflow problems are a big deal in some houses, and there's a company here in town that advertises that every day. That, look, if you've got a room that doesn't get cold, you got a room that doesn't get hot, it's probably the airflow, and we'll come out. I think it's for $189. They'll come out and check it and balance it and whatnot. A lot of times it can be something as simple as a clogged filter.
Yep. That's it. Like, going in and diagnosing airflow problems, a lot of things, it's simple as the air filter. They don't take care of it. They don't replace it. They don't know the maintenance of it. A lot of these youngsters coming into homes, they weren't brought up, oh, hey, here's what I'm doing. Here's why I'm changing the air filter every month. Here's the different things. Not everybody gets taught that way. Some people still clueless about it. So try to check the small things first, and that's huge. And let people know that they can check that too. Like we're always talking about social media, and that's how you started, was teaching your customers things.
How to fix our own plumbing. Put
this on social media. Hey, guys, if you're having air problems, first thing I would do is check your filters. Yep. And here's the different locations they could be. Here's the spots to check. Here's how to size it and get a new one. And even how to shop for the new one, because there's so many options now with all the airflows and how well that filter is.
And look at your filters. Understand, look, don't wait till you need a filter. Say, well, okay, I'm going to run down and buy one. Because then you're like, well, you know what? And I'd rather watch the football game, so I'm just going to wait. But the funny thing is, I like the filters that are higher MERV, that they're higher quality. And you don't change them every 30 days. You change them every 60 or 90 days. But I still have my alarm set for 60 days so I can get up and look at it. Yep. If it looks dirty, I don't care if it says the filter can go 90. I want to go ahead and change it. And there's certain times of year when it's really dusty that could happen. So another thing that they also want to check, though, is the duct work. Did rats get up there and eat a hole in one of your ducts?
Yep.
Squirrels. When we had the house over on Laguna, I hate to say it, you could hear the squirrels running in the attic at night.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, I got to get rid of these little freaking things. But it's all because the guy came out, worked on the air conditioner, cut a bigger hole around where the lines went up and never sealed it up. So different things like that are bad. But also another big thing for HVAC people to check are the blower motors and the fans. Is there a problem with it? Did one of the phases go out or something? And is that something that is not inducing enough air into your system, or does it just need to be cleaned? A lot of times, and I hate to say this, a lot of times, if I don't have a HVAC company come out, chances are I don't pull my fan out and clean it.
Yeah.
And after just a couple of years, they start building up crud on them. After a couple of more years, they've got so much crud on them that they don't blow like they did when they were first installed.
Yep.
And you'll throw your bearings out on it. You'll burn up the motor on it. And then you're replacing a fan when really, and if you'd have just cleaned it, you may not have needed to. HVAC guy says, I had an employee that loved Makita.
Yeah.
Luis M. Navarro says he's waiting for the inspector. Been there before. About to flush down this fire line. Good for you. Chills
right.
from Woodland Hills, California. I used to do fire protection systems. I loved flushing them. I loved doing the flow test, getting up on the roof, spraying it out, and having the fire marshal come out. Neat stuff. Materials, equipment, and technology, or materials, equipment, and tools. Here we go.
Next gen construction materials. And I thought this was pretty cool. The industry's shifting towards stronger, greener, and smarter materials. It's something that we're always talking about anyway. One of the first ones I want to talk about here, transparent wood. A stronger, more sustainable alternative to
Isn't that
glass.
called glass?
It typically, yes, but this is going to be transparent wood.
Okay, come on.
I thought that was mind blowing. Like,
I want to see it.
we're here, we're in we're in Texas. You know,
I think you got duped by AI.
glass is kind of brittle, possibly, but
Isn't that called acrylic?
well, think about it. How much concrete looks like it's actually wood, but it's not.
Yeah.
We've done some of those. Like there's ways to
Stamp it.
morph things, change things a little bit.
Mhm.
We've got plastic wood now. We've got all these remakes because it's stronger, it's more durable, it can handle the weather better, different things. Transparent wood. So, we'll see. Self-healing concrete. Look it up.
Go ahead.
Go
No,
for
you're
it.
doing good. I wanna say-
Self-healing concrete. Okay. Now, this one I thought was curious because we are talking about concrete
Mhm.
soon. Reduces maintenance cost and extends structure lifespan. Now, if you've got a concrete that self-heals,
that could be
should be
interesting.
good. Pollution absorbing bricks help clean urban air. Now, if this is true, this is going to be awesome for like your downtown areas, things like that. A brick that'll actually absorb some pollution. That's pretty cool.
Okay, I just found some solid polycarbonate sheet, 6 millimeters thick. So it's not very thick. 4x8 transparent wood. It's only $1,700 a sheet. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be replacing plywood here any minute now.
Probably not anytime soon.
I'm just saying. Okay, pollution absorbing bricks.
Like pollution absorbing, that sounds awesome. And
It does.
like the thought of it, hearing it, and it's 2025 now. I think this is actually a possibility.
We're getting more polluted every day.
We are getting more polluted every day. And fighting it with pollution absorbing bricks could be the way to go. I'm glad that we're thinking outside of the box. Engineers are trying different things like transparent wood. I mean, that's kind of mind blowing to me.
What if we just taught guys to quit farting?
Hey, maybe it might work.
The pollution absorbing bricks might be more likely.
Maybe. Question is can you paint them?
No,
Good
probably not.
question.
'Cause
Probably not because you're going to seal it. That's it.
Uh-huh.
So I wonder what colors these are. Have to look into some of that.
I'm not looking that one up. I couldn't afford the clear wood.
The clear wood.
Yeah.
But we are moving into the next generation of construction materials. They're coming out with all sorts of things, coming out with better materials, cheaper, some not cheaper, some more expensive, especially on the front ends and the start. So we'll kind of see. It could be kind of interesting.
and here's the deal. Look, there's new materials coming out every year. We know that. I literally, God, where was I driving? I think it was on 78. They're installing something look like a Dutch Brothers or something. And I'm like, man, I wonder if that's the one I saw them building in New Orleans or in Vegas. And I'm headed to Vegas next week. So I'm like, I want to at least talk to Don, see if we can get in there. And then the next week, me and you will go over there and go through this building. But to see what they're doing with things these days, and guys, think about this. All these new construction materials. I remember getting asked to do the plumbing on a Connex home. And I'm like, what do you mean a Connex home? You mean, explain it to me. And they were literally taking Connexes, piecing them together and building them and stacking them. And they're building homes like that. And now we're looking at them out here like, hey, have we thought about doing a Connex building or something? So the opportunities are there, but you've got to look at, if you induce or introduce a new material, is it going to be more cost effective? Is it going to be greener? If you're like, man, look, I can take water and take 1,000,000 gallons of water to build a brick that will last forever. Well, great. If you wasted 1,000,000 gallons of water to build it, no, they're going to say, look, this isn't good. So look at it and say, how does this make more money? How does it make higher profit margins? Because that's what everybody wants. If I build a building and use your product, it costs me less for the product, but it's going to last longer. Man, I can sell that. I can make more money.
Yeah. I've been test guinea pig on a lot of new products, new construction materials, things like that. I can remember first testing MegaPress on a job. And that was kind of mind blowing for us because we're going, wait, we're going to use this on gas pipe? Like I'm running gas lines and all I'm doing is going to press all the joints. We had some storms come through, blue piping off the roof, all sorts of crazy stuff. And it was like, man, oh, let's go through and redo all that. I said, no, just leave it. Let's just remember when we go to test all this, we got to come back here and check this. Let's test it, guys. Let's see what actually happened. Did it screw everything up or not? So that's another thing when you're going with these new things, test it.
Yeah,
See
make
what
sure
its
it
limits
works.
are. Try to figure that out on the front end so that it doesn't lead to bad things on the long end.
Okay. Can you frame a chimney with EM? Not that I'm
Oh, with the bricks, the pollution bricks.
oh,
Good question.
that is a good question. Winning streak? I'm not sure. Did you ever reach out on LinkedIn? Curious. Roger, don't sit still. Oh, trust me, I don't. I have a hard time doing that. I hit the like button, headed back to work. Peace. Thank you very much. And Matt McDonough says, Mr. Miyagi, Plumbing and Henry, the leak wizard. Now
All
you
right,
got a
there we
name.
go.
How are you guys? Matt, we're doing good, brother. We're actually doing really well.
We
Now,
also got plumber in the trades up there.
why he's talking about Leak Pro?
First time to make it in.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
Glad you made it,
Good
man.
deal. Thank you. Since Matt called you the leak wizard, tell us about Leak Pro.
Well, we want to thank Leak Pro today for sponsoring this video. It's why we get to be here and be live with you Monday through Fridays. But Leak Pro, they build the best leak detection system for professional plumbers. We build two pieces of equipment. I build a probe, which is more from the meter to the home for your outdoor leaks. And then I build a sidekick, which has an aluminum rod. So when you step into the home and actually start checking, it eliminates that concrete layer so that you can actually hear the leaks under the slab. If you want to check out our equipment, you can visit www.leak-pro.com. If you want to get trained on and know nothing about leak detection, I've got a training center here. I've got 11 leaks under a slab, one outside of the slab. I'll teach you how to locate the lines, how to pinpoint locate those leaks. I also have a cast iron and a PVC sewer setup where I can teach you how to feed a test ball
No,
up and
you don't.
isolate the branch lines from the double clean out outside, everything from that main line. And that's huge. Big advantage to a lot of customers out there. If you want, give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO and we can discuss any part of it you want to, or visit www.leak-pro.com and you can book me for a Zoom call.
All right, MEP. Now, I love that because mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, Randy and I've worked in and around all of it. The reason being is we work for one of the largest mechanical contractors in Dallas, and they had all three of them. So they've done every bit of it. And the cool thing about it is they're becoming more common in the prefab stuff. Now, Randy and I both worked at Parkland Hospital, right? You worked out there. How long?
Oh, I was there 14 to 16 months.
Yeah, I was probably there about a year. I was on the pre-planning and the underground, and I was QA/QC. But the prefab it was big there, and it was MEP. It was all of it.
Yes.
And I mean, we were doing bathrooms. They were doing the corridor piping and conduit, all the utilities going down the corridors. So your med gas, your plumbing, your electrical, your HVAC. I mean, they were looking at, if there's a doorbell in the building, can we prefab it over there and bring it over and then install it? So to see what they're doing is really, really neat. But guys, this leads to a faster installation. And, they've got those new buildings. Now they can deliver a building on a flatbed, lay it out, pop up the walls, fold it together, pop up the roof, boom, it's done.
Yep.
This is pretty cool stuff. And I've got to meet some people in Vegas that are involved with that stuff. So I'm always like, man, how can I get one of those out here? Because I want to see it go up on a video going up, but I want to get inside and play in it. I want to see if I make it fall apart. Probably not while I'm inside, but that's kind of the way my brain works. But here's what's neat about that too. You get really an improved quality control, because if your quality control person is walking around in a not confined, in a closed, safe environment, no weather, no nothing to deal with, he can do his job better. He can slow down, look at things, test things, and not worry about it. When you're out on a job site and you've got 100 different workers in 100 different areas, it's hard to get to everything. And I like the idea of the controlled environment where, look, every single piece has to have an inspection tag before it rolls out. Now, on the job site, you're inspecting by areas, and you're like, hey, we check this room, we check this room, we check this room. When you're out on the job versus in a controlled environment, the work environment is completely different. So I love the improved quality control, and it makes it better. And you talk about trade coordination all the time.
Yeah, like with this, being able to communicate between different trades, and there's a system as to who goes in first. I did a lot of mechanical rooms, so there's always me doing pipe. I also had sprinkler fitters in there. I had HVAC guys in there, and I had electricians in there. One of the things that we figured out over the years is whoever's up top starts first, because you got to work your way down in a mechanical room, because by the time you're done, you can't get anything in the room and flown anywhere. So you kind of start from the top and work your way down. Prefabricated systems makes this a breeze, because you're in there faster, you're out of there faster also, and you can actually have these multiple trades, and you just communicate clearly with each other who's up next, who's working where, when, different things like this, to actually make this whole puzzle come together. And that's huge. And you've got to be able to communicate that with these multiple trades, because everybody has to get in that room for it to actually work, and they've all got to be in there at the right times to be able to make their work fit.
And here's the thing. If you don't do it that way, everybody wants in at the same time. Then you've got 10 people in a room that's really big enough for 3 people to work in. They're stacked on top of each other. There's not room to move around, and everybody's in everybody's way. And that'll wear you out. So I love the coordination of saying, hey, look, let's do it this way. You come in here, you do this, and you do this. And that makes life a whole bunch easier. Now, where the work is, and I love this because this is something that we've talked about. I love talking about this because, to me, if you're in plumbing, electrical, or HVAC, you need to look at what could you add to your repertoire that is going to increase your bottom line. If you're a plumber, whole house water filtration, slab leaks, and leak detection, probably the smartest ideas out there. If you're an HVAC guy, it's geothermal, it's
smart devices, smart homes, things like that now.
Yeah, the one we talked about the other day, the water heater that has the,
yeah,
I always forget.
Yeah,
I go to
I'm blanking on
geothermal. Anyway,
heat something, yeah.
Heat exchanger,
heat pump.
Yes. And if you're an electrician, whole house GFCIs, solar panels, and wind turbines. And today we're going to talk about solar panels, because I think every electrician in the world should have somebody, or every electrical company should have somebody at their company that is a specialist in solar panels. Guys, these solar panel companies are making millions and millions and millions of dollars just installing panels on the roof, and it's not that hard to do.
That's it. And if you're an electrician, you're a roofer, anything, add these parts to your services. Go out and study it, research it, get the certifications needed to be able to do these installs on your projects. The money's out there ready to be made. Do you want to chase it or not? And, that's something to ask yourself too. But solar's huge, and it's only going to get bigger, guys. That's free energy over time. Why would the world not go to that? It's clean, everything. I think solar is the major one. Like we talk about wind a lot. Wind turbines are a lot to upkeep and maintain, so they cost more.
A lot of
over
moving
time.
parts.
A lot of moving parts. Solar sits there. Clouds may block the sun. It gets a little less energy of the day. Okay.
Still works.
It still works. Keeping the batteries and things like that for where they store this energy, that's going to be the cost part. But get involved in solar now because it is going to be the way of the future for sure.
And look, I love that we're talking about this under where the work is, because where's the sunshine? Because if the sun shines, guess what? There's a good opportunity there. Now, if you're up in Oregon or something right now and it's snowing, you may say, yeah, there's not a lot of sunshine today, Raj. I get that. But to get into the solar market, you've got to get your solar certifications. And this is something I'd love to check into.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, I think that, well, I know people that are in the solar business. So for me to talk to them and say, look, I want to learn to do this, maybe hire some buds, come in and be the ones that actually do the work. But I mean, I think that the solar business is going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'd love to have it on my house. I'd love to have it out here at the property. I mean, anywhere that we can put solar panels to where it's like what we don't use goes back through the inverter and gets sold back to the utility company. Now the utility company's paying me because I've got a solar field,
right,
or I've got solar panels on the roof from one end to the other. It's like, man, what a great opportunity. So something worth looking at, but also partner with the renewable energy farms. And that helps you sell the solar power and do all that. So there's a lot of great opportunities, a lot of good stuff you can do. And remember, guys, this work is everywhere. And right now, and I don't know much about the certifications, but my thought is if you learn to install solar in Chicago, it's not like it has to be buried deeper in Texas or New York or California. It's like, hey, look, that this works. We got some people in here. Says Matt McDonough says hoping to get some free time, come up and get that training. Brother, you need to. You definitely need to. Bill Thrash says, I'd love to show you our solar setup off 190. Oh. And 190 is right around the corner, brother. 19.2 kilowatt hour system with 2 batteries. Bill, sounds amazing. I'd love to see it. So, guys, remember that this work is anywhere and everywhere. And like I was talking about, I truthfully think that if you learn to do solar here, you've pretty much learned to do solar everywhere.
Yeah, and also like a lot of the electricity providers, they provide X amount of percent of renewable energy into your homes.
Yep.
Guess what? They have to have solar. They have to have wind to be able to meet these requirements, which means they need you to come install it, guys. Don't miss out.
Okay, we're going to talk about instructor training here. And I got to tell you, the first time that I saw this, I was like, what? And you got some guy wearing a hood, and he's over here, and he's moving his arm and all this. And I'm watching him. I'm like, this is weird. And then I get closer and I see the screen. I see what they're doing. I'm like, okay, wait, this is freaking pretty cool. The augmented reality welders, the simulators, these things are legit. Have you been on one yet?
I have not.
Man.
I'm hoping to kind of see one of these at a trade show over the next few weeks. And yeah, guys, shows next week are going to get kind of interesting around this place.
Oh, yeah,
it's going to be fun because we're all going to be at shows. And
so just so y'all know, next week I'm in Vegas. I head to New Orleans today for Lee Steinberg's Super Bowl party. Leave Vegas on Sunday, or leave New Orleans Sunday and go straight to Vegas. So I've got a 4-hour flight.
That's it. I'm headed to Orlando for AHR next week.
Oh, that's bull.
Okay. 85 degrees. Yeah. You have fun.
Ready to be out by the pool today. I forgot the conference was today.
I got lost. I missed the dates up. I'm sorry.
I got tangled up in the lounge chair by the pool.
But it's going to be pretty cool because I'm going to be trying to do this, walking around the show. We're going to see how that goes. It's going to be kind of interesting. I'll probably be doing it all from my cell phone next week for this. It'll be a fun time.
It will be fun.
Be interesting because everything going on, but augmented reality this training, especially for welding, is huge because I remember whenever I was going through learning how to weld, we had 30 guys in our class. Well, 2 guys every night couldn't weld because they got to sit back there and cut pieces.
Spool pieces.
So that, and we would all rotate and take turns as to who had to do that. But you've got to have parts and pieces to be able to weld. Blew a root out instantly while you were trying to tack it up. Well, you got to go back, regrind, redo everything. What if you could just go, oh,
Reset.
reset that, please. Let me try that again. I messed that up. There's no waste. There's no nothing. It's all augmented reality. It's all virtual. They're sitting there. They're actually doing it. But there's no waste. There's no nothing. And you can actually change that program for different things, different positions, things like that. Because whenever you're welding and you do certs, each cert has a different position that pipe has to be in. Because,
Upside down, 45-degree angle, all kinds of stuff.
Because gravity affects every weld different. And that's something that you learn as you are becoming a welder. And augmented reality is a huge way to be able to understand this and be able to hit resets. And I haven't used it yet. I'm curious, can I go back? Can I rewind 10 seconds of what I did? Can I just backtrack a little bit? Can I save my spot where I can come back to that? Because I see something that I want to try different or something.
Probably not, because you can't do that in real welding.
Well, hey,
Just say, can you suck out about 10 seconds of rod right there and let me play with that again?
that's what they make grinders for.
But look, this saves material.
Yes.
It's not just the pipe; it's the rod.
Yep.
It's the energy to heat the rod. All this is not required now. And another good thing, you get the real time feedback. Your machine's going to tell you right then, good, bad, or ugly. It's not like a cert where you've really got to weld it. Then you got to send it in for X-rays, and you find out a week later you busted.
Yep.
Or you find out the next day you busted.
I don't know.
It's going to know right then. It's going to say, hey, this is good or this isn't bad. And this allows remote or large group training because you can bring in a large group. You know, we do a lot of it at Collin College, and they've got, I think, 40 welding machines.
Yeah.
They can bring 40 freaking welders in and train it, and they're doing blue and red. So it's like, look, we got both. Get on both and figure them out. That's neat stuff. But probably the biggest advantage is it's safe. People aren't out on a job that have never been on a job site before. And they get the hands-on practice before they ever touch a rod. And I'll tell you what, I've had my hand on a piece of pipe before, and I was sweaty, so it was wet, and went and pulled rod up and literally welded right up my arm. And if you ain't never done it, I don't recommend it, but it doesn't feel good. So you've got to understand the safety part is a big deal. You keep people from getting hurt. Me, I'm like, yeah, okay, I've burned myself before. I'm a plumber. But you get somebody that's never welded before, and they're like,
Yes.
I need to go to the hospital. I just burned my arm.
Yep.
And if they're demanding it, guess what? They're going.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to learn to look at it and see what the deal is.
So that's the one bad thing I guess you can't learn is getting the burns while you're welding
Yeah,
too.
Yeah. Yeah, that part they're going to skip over, I'm sure. Okay, we're going to move into specialty. And we're talking about the rise of leak detection as a standalone business.
Yeah. This is becoming huge. I've got a lot of people that contact me, older plumbers and stuff, and they're like, I think I just want to kind of retire, but I want something to do. And I think leak detection would be great. I'm like, it's a perfect fit. Like it really is. Whether you're young, don't know much, and you want to do it, you can. Or you're older, you want to retire and just have something a little simpler to do. Leak detection takes patience because you're working through the problems and trying to locate this needle in the haystack. But with the right tools, it's easier to find that needle because you can actually make it to a way smaller area that you're searching. And LeakPro is a great device for this. Plumbers and contractors can add leak detection services to their business for their premium offerings, whether this is acoustical leak detection, thermal, ultrasonic.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of different types of leak detection. And it's like I tell a lot of people that ask me personally, you know, well, which one's the best? It's like, look, if I was a leak detection person, I wouldn't just have one device in my truck. I'm going to have a a different array of things to be able to pull out and use. Because like a lot of people ask me, oh, can I listen to the walls? It's like, yeah, you can. The hollow space, you're not like, it could defer it different. I would much rather use a thermal imaging camera there to be able to see what's going on in that wall for leaks and things like that. So it's a good idea to keep multiple tools in there if you're going to do this, but it's an easy business to start and get into. And guess what? Plumbers, if they're not doing their leak detection,
Or losing customers.
they're losing customers, but they're also reaching out to you as a leak detection, as that's the only business you're going to do. So it's a good opportunity for a lot of people out there.
You know, and another cool thing about it is I like that you talked about the plumbers that are getting older. Well, the cool thing about it is, look, this is not hard work. This, I mean, the piece of equipment, I don't even know what they weigh, 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Maybe. And your headphones, they sit on your head. Now, some of y'all, that may give you a headache. But, I mean, it's a set of headphones with a wire that goes to your sidekick or your probe. It's easy work. It's smart work. You know, turn off the valve. Maybe you hook a compressor up and induce air into the system. That's what we recommend for the last check. But a lot of times when we teach people out here, we teach them to find leaks without any air in it. And then they come through and are like, wow, that was easy. It was good. Okay, now let's put air in it. Now let's listen to it. It sounds different. It's good for finding harder to find leaks. But it's a very easy thing to do. And it just takes a little bit of tools and some training to understand. You already understand the plumbing system. You understand how the plumbing system works. You understand the valves and isolation and different things like that. Learning how to do stuff like this, especially as a standalone business. Now, the guy we bought the business from, literally, he used to have this aluminum box mounted. He would literally take a Jeep, take the spare tire mount off. He built a box that would mount right there, had it wired where you had power there. He hooked his compressor up. So literally, you open the door of that, run the air hose in the building. You had a remote control. He'd clip on his pocket. That turns the compressor on and off. And now you can add air to the system and go inside and listen for leaks. And he did all this in the back of a Jeep.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what he ran around and did leak detection with. And he's like, Roger, this is why I built this. This is why I designed this. One person with a Jeep can start their own business right here. You don't have to have the Jeep. You can carry it around in the back of a truck. There's lots of different things that you can do, but the opportunities are there. Once you get the training, the specialization of slab leaks and leak detection, once we teach you about marketing, it's like, look, I can start my own business.
Yeah. Get out there, get trained so that you are comfortable and you've got the confidence to walk in to do any leak detection, that you know that you're going to hit the spot. Training that we do out here at Leak Pro, it's huge. I can teach somebody that knows nothing to people that are experienced. Either way, whenever you have that confidence and you can walk in, it's a great thing, and you're going to kick off your business right.
Good way to do it. Matt, I am headed to Vegas for FHL, Funnel Hackers Live. So it starts Monday. I'm coming in town Sunday. It lasts till Friday. I fly home on Saturday. Me and Randy fly to Indianapolis on Sunday. It's just a long 3 weeks coming up. And then actually go to Indianapolis. Then I think we come back home.
Come back, and then we go out again.
Then we go to Vegas. Randy comes home. I go to Kansas City. We've got to book those flights. So yeah, it's just, I'm learning and growing. And so is Randy. Alberto Raggio says, always informative. Thank you very much. Look, we love what we get to do, and the reason we do it is for y'all. It's the viewers. It's the people out there. There's been a lot of people that we see putting a lot of bogus crap out on social media. And it's like, you know what? Let's put together a show where we give people what they need. We give them a dose of what's going on, what's happening, and how they can get better, how they can grow, how they can learn, different things like that. And today we're talking about an oxymoron. I'm joking.
Yeah.
It's called The Honest Plumber. And he's a YouTube creator. Go ahead, Squirt.
Yeah. And, you know, we're going to spotlight his featured video here. How to prevent water damage in your home. Tips from a pro. Now, this is really relevant because This teaches homeowners proactive plumbing maintenance. And guys, any trade across the board, there's something you need to do to maintain some things. Get on social media, teach your customers this, become that honest plumber, that known face that everybody likes and understands. Or you can have a Roger face.
No loves, trust, and connected to, or you can have an ugly face like me.
You know, whatever. But guys, teaching customers different ways to maintain the things that they have in their home, their biggest investment. Teach somebody how to take care of that. It's going to take you a long way with them. They're going to keep following and watching and learning from you. And that's what social media is about. Passing on the knowledge. Yeah, some entertainment. And that's why we try to have some fun with this. And you know, it's not just here's the stats, here's the data. Let's have some fun. Let's trash talk. You know, we've got Sparkies and we know they don't clean up a job. And it's fun.
Ever.
That's right. But social media is huge. It's where the world's gone. I used to be anti-social media guy, Mr. Hermit.
He still is sometimes.
Still am sometimes, but look at me now. I'm live Monday through Fridays at 10 a.m. Central. Loving it. But it's talking about things that I love, and that's trades. I was a 20-year pipe fitter. I love every building that I ever worked on and built. My favorite thing to do is go in and build mechanical rooms. When I went to the office, everybody's like, oh my gosh, that is so hard work. And it's like, it is until you learn to work smarter, not harder. And really, it's not that difficult. It takes time and it takes work. Yes. I wish social media was a thing back then. I'd love to show off some of that work I've put in over the years.
Yeah. And I look back, so just like that. It's like, you know what? I've done a lot of plumbing and been out on a lot of jobs. And I was thinking this the other day, you know, I wish that this would have been around when I was still in the field. Because, I mean, me as a plumber, me as a quality control manager, me as a superintendent, man, I saw tons of stuff. You know, I talk about that First United Methodist Church in downtown. And some of the things I saw there, I literally saved them about 10 grand a month. They had a water line that was open and flowing to an old building that used to be out in the parking lot. That building had been gone for 50 years. This valve we found was still open. And it was just running. And I'm literally tracing things down. I'm going through, then they had a pipe chase in the floor. And that's where this water line was. So some of it was even under carpet. They didn't even know the line was there. And where I found this valve, same thing, under carpet. Yep. And I'm calling them saying, hey, we got a valve down here. Y'all know what this goes to? And they're like, no, we have no idea. So I'm going to shut it off. And they said, well, what happens if you shut something important? I said, well, y'all call and let me know. I'll turn it right back on. I said, but right now I'm going to shut it off. So I did. I cranked this thing off and got it all the way closed. About a month later, and I'd forgot about it.
Yeah.
About a month and a half later, one of the guys from the church comes to me and says, hey, where was that valve at? And I went and showed him. And he looked at where it went and he says, there used to be a building right out on the corner out, which is where now the back parking lot is. There used to be a building out on that corner. And I'm assuming that water line fed it. And it's like, well, how long has that building been gone? And it says 10 years ago, probably. He's like, it's been gone for 50 years.
Yep.
And I'm like, that line was open and running. He said, oh, I know. He said, our water bill has dropped drastically.
Yeah.
I'm like, I imagine it has.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're talking downtown Dallas. That water could have been going down into the sewer lines. It could have been going down into the storm sewers. It could have been feeding the underground aquifer.
Yeah.
But it wasn't being used by the church who was paying for it. And they were literally like, dude, by the time 3 or 4 months later came, they're like, our water bill has gone down about $10,000 a month.
Wow. That's huge.
And they had no idea.
Yep.
No idea at all.
Yeah.
That's a lot. All right. Questions of the day. First of all, what am I coming to Vegas for? Okay, man, I'm coming to Vegas just because I want to go to Vegas. No, I am. I'm coming down there to learn. I've never been to Funnel Hackers Live, never done anything with Russell Brunson, but Russell Brunson's going to be there. Dan Kennedy's going to be there. Tony Robbins is going to be there. There's going to be some good people there. So I'm really excited about me getting to go do that. Solar installation. And this is something I do. I want us to start checking into because you've got the question, what's the best way to start offering it? Well, first of all, you've got to get certified in it. and you've got to understand it. And then, and man, I'm going to flip it to slab leaks and leak detection. Come here and learn what we're doing, because what we teach people to do in marketing for slab leaks and leak detection, we teach people how to do in solar. It's not hard to do. If you want to get found in your area for it, man, that's easy to do. So look at it and think about it. Now, I want to go straight into the prefabrication, because, you know, the time that I almost got snowed in Milwaukee, I had gone up to Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and I had a hotel room there, had rented a car because I was supposed to go back down to Chicago, turn in my car, or no, go back down to Milwaukee, turn in my car that evening. No, God, was I supposed to drive to Chicago? Yeah, I was supposed to drive to Chicago. And then I was going to turn in my car there. Well, when I woke up the next morning, there's about 5 or 6 inches of snow. And they're like, we're going to get 12 inches tonight. And I remember the guy told me, he says, you'll want to come warm your car up in the morning. So I come down, start the car up, warm it up, pull up under the awning, and I look up and there's a thermometer. First time I've ever been in 0 degrees. And I'm like, what the, how do y'all live like this? And when I went up to Ahern Mechanical, what was it, Ahern? God, it may have been. I think it was. When I went up to this mechanical contractor, they were literally prefabricating the lavatories they were installing on a job. They had the lavatories delivered to the shop. They had people there putting on the pop-up assembly and the faucets. They had specific shelves built for them and carts. And it's almost like the food carts. You see them rolling down the hospital with all these shelves in it with trays. Well, they could fit like 6 or 8 lavatories on each side. Roll it in, and literally the plumber pulls it out, putties it or silicones it, drops it in the hole, and then comes back and hooks it up. And it's like, oh my gosh, that is so good. They're in a controlled environment. They're getting faster. So fabrication, guys, is coming to our trades stronger and faster and more relevant than ever before. So I want y'all to think about it. What could you do in your business where you prefab stuff each and every day? Squirt, talk to us about Leak Pro.
So we want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's video. That way we get to come here and talk trades with you live every day. And Leak Pro is manufacturer of the best leak detection system for professional plumbers. It's got 2 devices in it. You've got the Sidekick and the Probe. You're going to want both of them in your van for the outdoor leaks and the indoor leaks, because, man, that Sidekick, it cuts that layer of concrete out whenever you're listening for the leaks. I also do a training here just outside of Dallas, Texas. It's a 2-day training. Come out here, sign up. We'll get you trained up on how to locate the lines, locate the leaks under the slab and outside of the slab. But also we'll teach you how to isolate sewer lines in PVC and cast iron lines from the double clean out outside of the home. Check it out. You'll be able to check out this guy and have him look at your marketing and your website and see how everything's doing and rating and SEO wise, because he's been screwed over by enough marketing companies in his time in the trades. So we're trying to help tradespeople, and that's what we like to do. That's why we love Leak Pro so much. If you want to check it out, visit www.leak-pro.com, or you can give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, and we can discuss it.
This is how you grow the bottom line at your plumbing company. Or if you're a plumber and you want to learn new stuff, great way to do it. Something cool to learn that can help your company grow. But also, we talked about starting leak detection as a standalone business. If you're the one out learning it, then you look at, okay, how do I buy my equipment? That way I can do it. Special shout out to Plumber in the Trades. First time to be able to make the live stream. Real excited to be here. And thank you. I appreciate you being here. Lewis, Andrew Brown, Winning Streak, Matt McDonough, Bill Thrash, and Alberto Roggio. Thank you, Reggio. Thank you very much for being here, guys. We do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it today, and happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Be safe out there, and we will see y'all on Monday.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, TikTok, Instagram, glad y'all hung around.